Hello. My phone is going crazy, just making sure it is Discord. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Tammy. Yeah, I forgot to post it into Discord. This, I don't know if it's this weekend, I don't know. Today has been insane. And if I sound like I'm sick, I am not sick. However, I have been sneezing today uh, no exaggeration. I've probably sneezed right around 30 times today already. It's really starting to wear me down. And I'm not sick. I feel perfectly normal other than that. Uh, I do not have allergies. And even if I did, I take two Allegra 24 every single day. That's for hives. It's not for allergies. I don't have allergies. So why I'm sneezing so bad today, I don't know, but yeah, it's wearing me down. Um, yeah, so it's just been a bonkers day. But I appreciate Tammy. I appreciate you reaching out and saying, "Yo, what are we doing today?" Because I was just off in my own little world. Um, yeah. So, do you guys ever feel like just in your day to day life that you're like trying to run really hard up a sand dune? If you've ever tried to run through a sand dune, then you know exactly how I feel. And I have felt for oh, let's see, probably most of my adult life. Um, all right. Well, let's do some painting. Looks like it's just me and Tammy today. That's a nice a cozy little get together. I'm all right with that. So yeah, we're just gonna work on this today. I hope that's okay. Maybe I'll put my palette over on the other side so you can actually see it. Just setting up my my camera station over at my regular paint station is such a lot of work. And I was trying to do it really quick and, do the easy way today because whenever you do things the easy way, they're always easy, right? Not harder. So, yeah, so I decided to sit at the table today. Oh, hello, Donna. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm going to scoot my chair over a little bit. Yeah, so we're going to sit to paint. I never sit to paint, so we'll see how that affects things. I did not get my paintbrushes. You guys are so good to put up with my flighty brain. I swear I've got a flighty brain. Okay, so last week I decided that I was abandoning my original idea for this painting because I kind of liked where this was going. I love the vibration of this pink compared with this teal. I think that's really, really pleasing, really, really pretty. So I don't think I want to lose that. I am pretty happy with what's going on up here. I may just darken it a little bit. You live in flighty brain land, girl. That's why we get along so well. We are neighbors. I do think I'm going to play mostly right in this section of the sky. I want to bring a little bit of some of that yellowish, greenish color just up into here, just hints to suggest that there's some of that color reflecting on clouds. I'm going to darken up here. We'll figure this part out as we go along. Part of my darkening up at the top is I want to almost lose these trees in the darkness of the sky. I love it when trees just like blur whoosh, straight into the sky and you cannot see where it ends. And then I need to start working on the ground. Right now it's just kind of a big black mess, but it's not going to stay that way. Um, I've got some brushes over here. These are my junky brushes. I keep junky brushes over here because I tend to abuse them when working on houses. So I just leave junky brushes over here. In fact, does anybody remember? Yeah, that is what it feels like, huh? Kind of Breaking Dawn. Does anybody remember Fuzzbird? This is Fuzzbird. He's still kicking. I think his head is loose again. No, it's not. He lives in my junky brush thing. Maybe I'll use Fuzzbird today just for old time's sake. Okay. It's really dark over here. I'm having a hard time seeing. But that will be fine. What are we going to do? Let's start with the sky. Yeah, I'll get... I got my Fuzzbird, a little bit of teal, not a lot. I don't want to go overboard with it. And yeah, I think if anyone has been following me for any amount of time, they also have a Fuzzbird. And then this is that Cadmium Orange by Utrecht that is actually orange. I'm seriously struggling with my lighting today, you guys. I feel like it's so dark for me, but it seems so blown out for you guys. Let's just get started. We'll figure it out as we go. Yeah, so Tammy asked before we started about my my abstract projects that I've been wanting to do. And I have kind of started them a little bit. I don't know if you can see, probably not. On this table right here where my finger is, there's a bunch of small canvases that I've prepped with a little bit of oil paint, just super abstract, mostly focusing on contrast of color, value, saturation, things like that. Nothing specific. And so I'm waiting for those to dry completely before I can move on to the next part. But what I will share with you guys is, so I don't have anything to show you right now is what I'm getting at. But what I do have to share with you guys, I will tell you some of the things that I have purchased in getting ready for this project. So you guys already know I spent way too much money on fabric dye, and I've got my fabric dye right here. So yeah, $70 in fabric dye, because it's all or nothing, right? And then I bought yesterday, it has to ship here, I bought 2 yards, I think 2 yards of raw silk gauze. I'm so excited. So I've got a bunch of raw silk gauze coming. And then I also ordered some lace weight mohair yarn. And I'm so excited about that one. That one's going to be really cool. So yeah, I'm buying a bunch of stuff that are not painting related, but they are absolutely going to be part of my paintings. I think I told you before I was going to make t-shirt yarn. Did I tell you I was going to make a bunch of t-shirt yarn? Well, I did that. Let's see, I've got it. Yes, everything I own is sitting right here on this desk. Here's my big ball of t-shirt yarn. That's only a small portion of the t-shirt material I bought. And I did get around to dyeing a small bit of it. So this was white t-shirt yarn, and I dyed it this absolute banger of a color. I am so in love with this color. What is t-shirt yarn? T-shirt yarn is amazing. It is yarn made out of t-shirt fabric. So in this case, you can make them from regular t-shirts, but I needed so much of it, and I wanted to make sure that I had the right color and, just a consistent source of material. So I went and bought 3 yards of t-shirt fabric. And then it's just the way you cut it that turns it into like one long continuous strip of yarn. And you can crochet with it, you can knit with it, you can weave with it. I am doing none of those things with it. So that's going to be exciting. I'm really ignoring my tree trunks right here. One thing I see a lot, is people trying to do detail work like this, and they're like going right up against the tree trunk there, and then right up against the tree trunk there, and then it just looks forced. That tree trunk is now like etched in stone, basically. I know where the tree trunk is. I can see the bottom of it. I can see the top of it. I can see the ghost of it through here. It's I almost said t-shirt yarn. I don't know if you can tell what I've been thinking about nonstop for the last couple of weeks. I know where that tree trunk is going. It's not precious. I can put it back. So I'm just going to ignore it for right now. I like this color a lot. It was very subtle, and I'm just kind of almost like blender brushing it in. Like we're blending eyeshadow. Hopefully I don't sneeze while we're together today. I don't want to sneeze anymore. I'm so tired of it. Oh, that color is good. I know I talked about potentially leaving that spot, so we'll see, but I'm not going to treat it as precious right now, just like the tree trunks. So what did you guys do with your weekend? Anything good? I just stayed home and worked, and that's about it. I mean, it's pretty much all I do every day. But I'm not complaining. I like it. That color is so good. Man, that teal and that cadmium orange is one of my new favorite color combinations. I'm just going to thin this color down with some medium. Same exact color, it's just a lot more transparent now. And I am going to drag a bit of it down here. I just don't want a line where the teal ends and the pink begins. Just want to get rid of that just a little bit. I can still bring it back if I want, but I want to make sure I'm not creating like a line around it. Tammy went to Charleston. Oh, fun. That's awesome. Don't you love it when you can get the kids in on it too? My brother's kids, they like their Aunt Jane. I'm the crazy aunt. So they always want to come over and hang out with me and listen to music and do art stuff, and it's pretty cool. I love being the crazy aunt that the kids love. It's my whole goal in life, is to make sure they always like me. Lilo and Stitch. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. Okay, I told you guys before that bright colors in between trees, even if it's bright, whoops. Let's say we've got, this color is, I mean, it is pretty bright. It's a pretty intense color. So if I take this color and I put it right here between these trees, just like that, it's going to look brighter than what's on the other side. So that was super thin down with medium, so I can dust it out. So just make sure, you know, you can go as light as you need to get it in there, but thin it down. If you need to use medium to get it thin so that it doesn't come out too bright, yeah, you can do that. Just remember you want it a little darker. And if it's really hard for you to get it to look the same but also be darker, then just do what you have to do. Put it down this bright if you need to, and then when it's dry, you can take your dark color and just lightly, a very thin wash of it, glaze it over the bits of sky that are showing. I can see what I'm doing so much better looking at my computer screen. Oh, that color's too bright for up there. Our sky is much darker. Tammy, you watch Handmaid's Tale, right? Didn't you mention Handmaid's Tale one day? God, this side has such a glare. Oh, you just started watching it, because the very last episode is available today. That's all I have left to watch is the very, very last episode, and I'm kind of dying a little bit waiting for that. You're on season 5. The only thing I will tell you, because I think it will make it a little easier for you, is it gets really, really grim and kind of hard to watch for a while. But the showrunners knew that, and it's not always quite that challenging to watch. This last season has just been awesome. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that color. In fact, let's see. I'll come back to that. I'm just going to add more teal and work my way up a little bit higher. I don't want to take this really pale green color up too high. Just want to suggest that it exists up there. So this color has a little bit more of the teal in it and a little bit of medium. So it will almost read greener and brighter, but it's not as green and bright. Oh, Donna, you're using them? They're so good. They're so good. They're so, like, they feel so magical and just like such happy colors. And the way they mix together. Sometimes you get colors that they're going to do exactly what you thought they were going to do. And that's great. We need those reliable colors. But sometimes you get some colors and you're like, oh, those colors are not going to be mixable, or they're not going to be great if I mix them. And sometimes you're just so surprised by what happens. And that's how I was with these colors. I like those little unexpected cloud tops in there. I might do a little more. Did you see how I did that? There's really only paint kind of at the ferrule. Let's see if I can zoom you in a little bit. No, don't do that. So you have a lot of paint toward the ferrule. And all I did was like lay the brush on the side and kind of do this thing, but also this thing. Can you see how it's turning just a little bit? So, and now I have cloud tops. And now I can just dust out the bottom half. And if it's too shapey, just dust out part of it. Yeah, I started reading the book at one point, but then I don't remember what happened. I didn't finish it. I need to get back to it. But now I'm worried that the show is going to be so different from the book that I'm going to read the book and find it to be unsatisfying. Good. I am glad you're sold on layers. No, you really can't. And like the dynamic colors, like right here, this little spot, you can see the pink, you can see the purple from the glaze that I did over the pink. You can see some of that green. Like that one little spot alone just has so much character to it. You can't just blur it out by giving a heavy opaque layer to the entire canvas. Hello, Eileen. Yeah, Donna, I also know the series overload. I'm always on series overload. And then we're like, hey, yeah, let's rewatch Arrested Development again. And we get like 3 episodes in and we forget about it because we have, 9 other shows watching. So, yeah. You lost me? Looks like I'm still on live. I don't see that there's any problems. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, that was a bit bright and a bit blue. I don't want to do any like cloud shapes in between the trees because that's too much detail that will kind of call your attention too much. So just doing some scribbling there just to introduce the color but without overwhelming the texture. Yay, I'm glad you got back, Donna. Okay, now I'm going to pull a little more orange into there. Lean a bit more on the orange side than we did originally. Some medium, and I want to lighten it a bit more. So this color is just like straight up green. And I'm here for it. I have got so much paint on this brush. I haven't used Fuzzbert in a while. He's kind of hard to use. All right, so this might not be light enough. I think it'll be okay, actually. Ooh. I'm going to do something different. Hang on. I don't want this color that I'm going to do right now to add more texture necessarily. And using this brush, I'm either going to add a bunch more texture or delete texture. Yeah, it's Cad Orange Hue by Utrecht. Let's see. And it's the artist acrylic, not the studio. If you have access to Utrecht, don't buy the studio paint because it's not bueno. But the artist paint is really good. I'm going to use, I don't know what this is, my number 6 round brush. And let's see, I'm going to load up with this color that I made. Let's see, let's just brighten it just a tiny bit more, a little more yellow, more white. A good scoop of medium. So it's a bit transparent. Roll a bunch of that off. And then I'm just going to kind of touch into the medium a bit. Oh, you guys couldn't see that. See, I've just got a little bit of medium on the tip of my brush. And I'm going to lay the brush flat. So it's going to be flat. So full bristles on the canvas. All the way down to the ferrule. I know, I just said I don't want to add a ton of texture, didn't I? Just some medium. Just kind of breaking up lines with some of the medium. And I can smudge bits out with my fingers. And because this has so much medium in it, it's going to dry a lot more transparent than it looks right now. Oh yeah, I don't want to lose that hole, but it's too obvious. And I lose the hole. That's pretty color. Picking up more of that. It's got a lot of medium mixed in it, but I'm not going to pick up more medium. And let's see. Let's get just a little sneaky snack of it going on in here. No real texture though, just an introduction of the color. All the way up to the tree trunk. I just needed to hang out with you guys to get rid of my sneezing. So thanks. I still don't know what I want to do down here. I don't know if I want to take this green all the way down. What do you guys think? Should I take the green all the way down but still allow some of that pink to just poke out a little bit? Kind of vibe with it, but... Ooh, excuse me. And I've decided I've got that brighter color over there. So I don't want to, I know I talked about maybe doing a sun or a moon or something right there, but That doesn't agree with where my light is the brightest, and I don't want to take that brightness too far. I like the pink too. Maybe. Yeah, I'll come back to that. I think I know what I'll do. One more little hit of this. Developed a fuzzbird. Heck yeah. Fuzzbirds are pretty great. It's just ever since I started making my stiff bristle brushes, I haven't used them much anymore because if I need to, that is just getting a little overworked right there. I need to stop on that. If I need to do a bit of scrubbing, then I just use my stiff bristle brushes. So, all right, we're gonna call that A, a little overworked, and B, done for the moment. Just right there. So what kind of art is everybody working on? I saw your, they were orchids, right? Tammy, on the tray. That was gorgeous. Donna, you're working on some clouds right now? Eileen, I didn't forget about you. I know you finished your cross stitch. Are you painting yet? A little more teal. Let's go back to Fuzzbert. Just a bit of medium. I'm not trying to make the teal too terribly opaque, just like a hint of it in there. And a tiny speck of the turquoise to darken it, but it also makes it much more vivid, which doesn't really agree with the darkness of the sky. The sky, when it's dark, it may be a really pretty teal, but it's not going to be super vivid. So that color is way too vivid, but a speck of my QBO. And look, it's still that beautiful color, but it's not quite as vivid. It's just a little bit more midnighty. That's what we want. Oh, magnolias. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, let us know. You started another cross stitch. Broke your promise. Ooh, that's not even that dark. Actually, that is not dark enough, and it's still way too vivid. So let me get some of that paint off. More QBO, more. I'm just going to mix up my chromatic black right now. There we go. There we go. Much, much better. Yeah, that's going to be better. And here, I'm just going to take it right into the treetops. Like I said, I want these treetops to just about disappear into the dark part of the sky here. Maybe not everything about it, because then you lose the idea of the shape, size, things like that. But if I can just fade the edges so that they don't have a discernible ending, that will be a-okay. right into the tree. You're still gonna paint? Okay, good. Yeah, this color is much better. Much, much better. But it still reads as a beautiful, dark, vibrant blue. And especially, let's see, I can see these things so much better on my camera right in here. I think I need a bigger brush for up here. The Filbert is not doing the thing. I need it to do the thing. I think once I finish, let's do this. I'm going to use my half angle. I think when I finish with this part of the sky, I might go back and start working on the ground. And I moved to the Filbert, or to the angle, because down here where I was using the Filbert, we're going for a little bit more texture. But up in the dark part, again, we wouldn't see that texture as clearly as we do in the light area. So I don't want to add a bunch of texture that's going to feel and look out of place. So this color is going on just a little bit smoother. Lots and lots of my chromatic black, maybe leaning a little more on the blue side, and just a bit of the teal. And go all the way into the tree there. A little bit of medium. So I want to blend this color down. I don't really want any of these colors to just stop unless I'm going to glaze over them. I know we kind of have a little bit of stoppage just right there at the bottom, but I'm going to glaze on them. So, because glazing, again, will help pull unrelated colors together. So right here, I put that pretty blue-green. But I am going to glaze down over it just a little bit. It's all still there. This is what I was saying. If you get your colors too dark in your trees for your sky, just take a little bit of your darker color and glaze over it. We're going to need a bigger brush. That's right. Oh, Lily and Herman Munster. Yay. I love them. I think we are just about done with this bit. Let's go one darker. Just using my chromatic mixture. I'm not adding any extra teal to it. Good bit of medium though. Nice and transparent. Oh, hi, Janice. Oh, I hope he's doing all right. All right. We're going to let that sky dry for a little bit. Let's work on the ground. I'm obviously still not too concerned with the tree trunks. That's last. Not in a hurry to get to that. But this ground looks like there is not a lot going on. So let's change that. I am going to... Let's see. I have this funky little fan brush that I made. There was a moment, well, it was a little while back where I was considering having a new brush made. But then I don't know. I just didn't ever do it. But I was working with my guy and then I just stopped pursuing it for some reason. So I made this brush. Well, I didn't make it. It's just a fan brush sample that, keep kicking that my guy sent me. Here's a larger fan brush. So these were exactly the same, just different sizes. And if you see the ends of this fan brush, they're all like super, super thin and chewy, where this one's very solid. So I took my old thinning shears from back when I used to do hair, and I just like hacked and hacked and hacked at this one until I got all of these little wispy, uneven ends on my brush. So maybe let's try this. I haven't used it for a long time. Okay, let's get some light into the ground. I think I'll grab a bit of the turquoise. I just mixed it into there, so there's a hint of the yellow. It's not straight green. This is really, really light. I'll throw a little bit of this in. It doesn't really matter. I don't have like a specific color I have to go for here because I'm going to glaze it anyway. I just want kind of a color. Some medium. All right. Let's see. This might be why I didn't do it, because I tend to not really care for fan brushes sometimes. They feel so patterny, or I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the look you get from a fan brush is just kind of stiff. And I'm kind of feeling that right now. But I'm just going to add a little bit of it throughout since I already started. That way there's not like one little spot over here that looks different than everything. I'll just add a couple little things and then move on to a different brush. Yeah, it is kind of. Oh, the gradient and the greens there. Thank you. I'm liking that too. But it is, to me, they do feel a little bit disconnected from each other. Like I can totally see where I stopped using one and started using another. And I still need to connect it to here. But a glaze is going to take care of all of that. You would have bought that brush in a second. Well, maybe I should have done it, but no more brushes. I'm not making them at all anymore. I'm going to go back to a number 8 filbert. It's not a fuzzbird. It's just a regular filbert. Some medium, more of this color. I'm going to wipe a bit of it off, though. I want very little paint on here. That paint's pretty thin. Okay. I want to make it like there's some bushes in here. And I know that looks awful, but it's okay. Now it looks like, well, it will. It will look like there's a bush or something over here. The brush is a little wet. Much better. That's looking better. So the reason it doesn't matter what color my grasses are here is because, like I said, I'm going to glaze them. The reason why I even bothered with a color at all is, first of all, anything on the ground that is reflecting the light of the sky, it already has its own color, and that way when it reflects the sky, it won't be the exact same color as the sky. It will appear like, oh, there's something there that might be green or red or whatever, and it's reflecting the sky, so the color is different. But then also, I need it to not be white. So I could take my Titan green, which is what I'm using for white, and just do this, but then it's pretty bright. It's going to be really bright when I glaze it. But with this grayish green, I kind of know what color I'm going to glaze it with. So with this grayish green, when I glaze it, it's going to be much more exciting, and it's not going to be quite as in-your-face bright as it would be if I used just the Titan green, or, you know, if I used a pure color like cobalt. If I use that cobalt teal by itself, these things are gonna be way too crazy. All right, I kind of lost some of the shape of bushes I was going for, but I'm not worried about that. Let's get a little bit more right here, and then we'll bring it back. I like the pink on the ground, actually. I like the idea that that's going to stay there. It'll be changed because I'll glaze it, but all right. I clean my brush, make sure it's dry. Just my chromatic black and some medium. These weren't supposed to be me like doing tutorials and talking you through every single step, were they? But here we are. I must have missed making tutorials for a minute. There. So at the base where I want to say this is a bush, well, the bush is going to be darker on the bottom. I'm just going to take this thin, super dark color and dust it there. Right here, it just creates a little opening at the base of the shape. Base here. I want to say there's some grasses that are poking up and catching light, but it needs to be nice and dark at the base to sell that. And this, just out of control. It's a good way to make sure that like little bushes and plants and whatever feel connected to your ground. Just darken them just a bit at the bottom. God, I really hate that whole thing right there. Just glaze it out. Goodbye. I put way too much light over here. So we're going to get it nice and dark, but just leave a hint of it. Yes, it's definitely more laid back and free-flowing than a tutorial for everyone involved. All right, I gotta do my standard thing. I can't believe we've been going for about an hour already, guys. So maybe almost time to let you go. All right, a little bit of water. I'm gonna get the same color I used on the grass. A little bit more water. Nice and flowy. Light controlled flicking. Paint on my finger, just kind of, maybe it looks like rocks or just changes up the texture a little. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing with my chromatic black. Just a little bit. Those got a little crazy, that's all right. This is not looking too bad. Okay, so let me tell you kind of where I think I'm going with this. This has to dry before I can do it anyway. So I think we will be done with this for the day. But yeah, I will finish it the next time we get together, which will probably be in a day or so. So it'll be this week. But what I plan on doing is I need to come back in and just work on the tops of the trees just a little bit. Primarily just darkening some of the areas here, just tamping down that purple a little bit, giving these trees in this area just a hint more shape to the outer edge since it's brighter. And the tree trunks, I want to get the tree trunks in there and solidified. And then I'm going to glaze. And I'm going to do a dark glaze on the top half. And I'm going to thin it out so that it overlaps into here. So part of this will have a hint of this dark glaze over top of it, which stops where I can see where I stopped using that color. But bringing that glaze down over top of it will hide that. So I'll have that taper out. And then what I'm thinking about is maybe going completely nuts and glazing the bottom with just this. Maybe not very intensely. It'll probably have a lot of medium in it. So it won't be, straight cadmium orange. This says it's semi-transparent, but it's pretty transparent. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's gonna, doing that with the glaze with the orange, it's gonna make this cloudy area here more glowy, stand out a little bit more. It's gonna make the pink here feel really, really exciting, but also like it's part of the scene. So we've got some good vibration here between these two colors, but they still feel just a little disconnected. And really, I might actually bring that turquoise QBO glaze all the way to the bottom, but just from here down, so transparent that it's just barely there, barely, barely there. And then I'll let that dry and I'll do a barely there glaze of the yellow on the bottom. I think that's what I'm leaning to right now. What do you guys think? So yeah, hopefully, yeah, we should be able to finish this in an hour on our next go. I feel like there's really not a lot left to do, but I'm digging the mood. I might want to, after I do my glazes, just do a little bit more of a brightening up in this area, but we'll see how it looks after that. So, um, yeah, that's it for this. I hope that it was worth the wait. My gym hair isn't too gross. Um, yeah, this Sunday. Hang on, let me see what day is Sunday. Pretty sure we are getting together this Sunday. Okay, so that's June 1st. Yeah. We will do our abstract workshop on Sunday. Hopefully, I've got something I can show you that I've been working on, but probably not. They're a lot of work. Um, yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I love you tons. And I will see you in probably just a couple more days. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.